Welcome to Chronic Health Collective. Your fresh start begins here. We've gathered powerful coaches and experts to help you reclaim your energy, heal from the inside out, and step into a life that feels vibrant, aligned, and deeply fulfilling. If you're ready for better health, stronger relationships, and more purpose, you're in the right place. CEO of Eluumis, Gary Kiss, is with us today in studio. He is a pioneer in biophotonics and cellular signaling. His biohealing stream service is phenomenal. I've used it quite a bit in my life. Gary, welcome. What's some exciting news you can tell us today about all the things you're working on?
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you. It's good to be on the podcast. Cable, since you and I since we've last spoken, I've had some significant breakthroughs on a couple different fronts,
Yeah.
and some of the breakthroughs are basically the user testimonials, people who have been using the biohealing stream consistently and activating more of that living light into their DNA. We're going to get into that with some more explanation so
Yeah.
people know what it is we're talking about.
Yeah.
But then the other thing I've been working on is more on the physical side of things, which are in the world of regenerative medicine, stem cells, for a lack of for a generalized term.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I was explaining to some of the scientists was, let's use this in the form of an analogy. So let's say you have two stem cells, stem cell A, stem cell B. In order for these stem cells to work, there has to be a communication,
Right.
a signal, a communication, right? But let's say those stem cells are the latest and greatest iPhones, and you have the latest phone, I have the latest phone, but those phones are only as good as the signal.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
It's the same way how our cellular communication works. So I showed once we apply the biophoton, the Eluumis biophoton technology to the vial of stem cells, it's completely amplifying the signaling and communication network of the stem cells, which means it's making the cells more intelligent.
Right.
So what would you rather? Would you rather have a bunch of unintelligent cells that they have grown or that has been maybe damaged in the process of harvesting them?
Right.
Or would you have stem cells that are completely coherent, well structured, with the amount of energy and light and vitality in order for those cells to execute their processes of regeneration? I think the answer is very obvious. So on that front, we are showing how something that is quantum invisible, which is a particle of light, which is solar intelligence from the atmosphere, is affecting something that has a physical structure.
Right.
And I think just that alone was very difficult for some of the more medical people to swallow because of the conditioning and training. But the microscope doesn't lie, right?
Right. Yeah. I was studying into life, light. Bio is life. Photon is light. Light. And it's
Yes.
like every all living cells has this light that's coming out, but it's so microscopic. It's very tiny. You don't see it from your normal eyes, but it's this light that, and then there's parts of the body that actually, through additional research, they like some parts carry more light than other parts of the body, like
Yes.
the myelin sheath. I was just researching this today. The myelin sheath tends to carry a high amounts of biophoton light, and I was checking in like, is some myelin that become, we'll say the word, become allergic to biophoton light, so it's not able. For the first time, I was like, light can be insulative, and it can also be um, um, force in someone's life. So in that way, I was like, this is a new way of thinking about light as a healing process for insulation around nerves, or a healing process for stem cells that have been removed for be inserted into another person for regenerative capabilities. There's so many different ways that light can be used effectively and efficiently for helping people overcome their difficulties.
100%. And one of the things that I was talking to a big biohacker recently, and I mean, these guys are on top of their game. Okay, when it comes to optimizing the chemistry, optimizing the physical body, I mean, they are the creme de la creme. But you know what I've noticed also, Cable? Many people who are optimizing their physical health, they still suffer from anxiety. They still suffer from insomnia. They still suffer from nervous system dysregulation and lack of coherence. So they're suffering in the invisible realm,
Right,
even though their physical bodies looks very beautifully and presentable on the outside.
right.
Okay, and one of the things I was saying to them, and I asked a question. I said, "What, in your opinion, what do you think the highest form of healing is, or healing technology?" Some said stem cells, some said peptides, nootropics, nutraceuticals, frequency, and I said, I have a little bit of a different answer for you. The highest, the most advanced form of healing on this planet is around 4.6 billion years old, and it's called the sun.
Yeah,
And we developed from that coherent stream of light. Circadian rhythms are timed through that, solar intelligence, the sun.
yep.
Our differentiation, a lot of people don't know that biophotons, which is the particle of light, which is an information carrier, differentiates the stem cells. It actually inputs the information into the stem cell to tell it, turn into an eye, turn into a nose, turn into a muscle, turn into cartilage. It's the light that's carrying the information, not the traditional red light therapy you're using. We're
Right,
talking
yeah,
about
right.
good living light. So we had to dig a little bit deeper to understand, and this is when I really found out, when I was studying the work of a German biophysicist, Dr. Fritz Albert Popp, and he was studying carcinogens and how it affected the cells and the DNA, and that's when he discovered biophotons. He's like, what is this? Is it cellular junk?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
realized that, oh my gosh, every strand of this DNA contains 1,000 biophotons,
And
and yet we have 93 trillion strands of DNA, which means we have 93 quadrillion strands of biochemical processes going on as we sit and speak in this moment, which meant it's not junk, it's our entire signaling and communication network. And here's the kicker, Cable, and you're gonna know this probably better than almost anyone as a
yeah,
as the real-time healer.
yeah,
We live in a world where the world is so technologically advanced that we have become biologically mismatched with the world that we live in, because these signals, these harmful electromagnetic fields, stress, lack of grounding, environmental toxins, and heavy metals. Those five elements alone decreases your body's ability probably by more than 50% in how you can absorb light down to the atomic structure, down to that signaling and complete informational communication layer because the DNA receives the light and it sends the instructions and it makes everything coherent. Then it sends the instructions to the stem cells, telling them what to do, imparting the power into the mitochondria. Okay, so you can see upstream how it triggers every single biochemical process. What if you are only getting 50% or 40% or 60% of that light intake down into the atomic structure, into each one of those 1,000 biophotons? Then you're automatically running at a biological deficit of energy.
Yeah. Well, they also found in the study that the light existed in living cells without any, even the sunlight. It's there, but it's inherently contained in the cell without any outside light source. It's in there, so it's this biophoton. It's not necessarily that you have to jump out in the sun constantly. It's inherently there.
Yes, it's
Every cell.
inherently there, but it has to come from somewhere. It's
Yes.
not
It,
that it's not that we are producing it because our source is coming in from there, right?
yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
what I
But
say
for the people,
coming.
for all the people, there is source energy, and all living is source energy. Whether the sun is like, man, the sun's gotten blocked out. We're in like a pollution area. I'm not going to get enough sun. No, living living cells have inherent source energy inherently inside of them. So the biophoton light is what can help the cells remember the
Yeah,
sun, but
yeah,
also remember their own basic building block source energy is the most effective and important. And
absolutely.
and I so even like um, um, when I visited with you in at the Conscious Living Expo, very first time I met with you some years ago, I saw your biophoton, uh, a, uh, a biophoton up on, and I was like, take something so tiny, a biophoton inside the body is you can't even see it. It's so like very tiny, the basic building block of life, biophoton, and make it large in a invention space that people are like, you know what? I need to see more of this in my life, to see more biophotons or light. And so it's kind of like the Earth to the Sun for ratio size.
Yes.
Biophoton to to biophoton here allows us to realize we, as a biophoton inside of us, to the sun, the same sort of us to the sun or biophotons to this large biophoton, is to help us remember the sun in our lives in a
Right.
massive way that we would not be able to notice or understand. Biophotons is a basic life force, and then biophoton, as you've invented, allows us to see in a big way and connect this coherence in our life in a way that we were not able to in any other way uh, uh, currently on Earth that I know of. There's no other type of comparison that relates in the way that you've created a biophoton that someone can have in their space, or they can get through biohealing stream um, as well.
You're spot on, and I like that you use the word remembrance because it really is a remembrance of the original source to signal, right? And when you do this and you use this technology, number one, as Cable just showed you, there are no plugs, there are no batteries. It is a source. It's always harnessing the solar intelligence of the sun, always, constantly. And
Yeah, we'll
the
have
thing,
to
go
we'll have
ahead.
to discuss more in the next section of what you're talking about. But thank you so much. We'll be right back to discuss biophoton and the basic building blocks of life, as well as how to bring that into our life in a big way.
Is your skin aging, dry, tired, and dull? Are you putting on more and more makeup to cover the fine lines and flaws? Now you don't have to. Coolness Skincare, developed by a middle-aged woman just like you. 2 years in formulating, pearlescent face and eye serum cream with Schisandra berries and dragon's blood extract for your face, eye, and neck. And the vegan version, Deep Love Face Cream, featuring powerful blue tansy. This face cream is everything you are looking for. Feel your beauty. Visit coolness.com or scan the QR code for more information.
Well, we're back with Gary Kiss, CEO of Eluumis and Biohealing Stream. We were talking about biophotons as a basis of human life. Biophotons, life. The light and the basic building block of human life is a biophoton. And Gary's company's invented a biophoton, a large one, with a 3D signature inside. Let's discuss more about this biophoton and just any additional insights you've gathered by using this particular technology from your customers.
It's been so profound, Cable, that I'm getting to see the application of this across hundreds of people. And even when I do the live stream or go to expos, I see it, how it responds with hundreds to thousands of people. So I get to understand, and there's always one common denominator that I see, no exceptions, is immediately when someone is either streaming through their phone, the biophotons, or holding the physical device, they first start to feel immediate calming of the nervous system. And it makes complete sense, because if that nervous system is overloaded and it's in fight or flight, I mean, everything you are going to do is going to be extremely temporary. Really. Right. I don't think you're doing the best stem cells, the best peptides, the best nootropics. It doesn't matter. That overactive nervous system will toxify everything in your body and take something that's beautiful and perfect and pure and make it toxic and acidic. So the key to all foundational healing, whether it's energetic or physical, in the physical chemical form, is getting the nervous system out of fight or flight. And every single person, thousands of people over the last couple of years that have experienced this technology, every single one has experienced that. In my opinion, and from what I see, what I've been told, it's the fastest way that they've ever experienced a reduction or almost a complete elimination of anxiety and mind chatter. And what I started realizing, especially with the mind chatter, is a lot of people don't understand. They feel the mind is inside the brain.
Yeah.
And it's not. Right? The mind is completely outside of you. It's a part of your auric field. It's a part of the biofield. And your biofield is a recording device. It records everything that's constantly going on around your surroundings, whether you are conscious of it or not conscious of it. The information from that biofield then gets absorbed down into the DNA, because the DNA now is acting like a fractal antenna, because
Right.
there's selenium structures in the DNA. So because it has to, because it's deciphering millions and millions of bits of data every second. So it's acting as a fractal antenna, and then it goes through the transcription process from the DNA to the RNA. And the RNA acts like a projector of that information. So it's literally projecting our reality. And this is why they tell you, be careful what you tune into, what you look at, what you listen to, who you're around, because that information is getting absorbed into our fields and literally getting interpreted by the DNA and then projected to the RNA. And it's a law. You cannot get away from that. You know, people who are always looking at horror movies, you can tell their life has some type of, it's always something dark going on. And it's really interesting to see that. So I think understanding this foundational premise that our DNA, our biofield is the recording device, the DNA is the receiver, the RNA is the projector. By understanding those three components, we can now understand what the biophoton is doing. So the biophoton is literally cleansing that auric field, aka the biofield in scientific terms, so you can have a high state of coherence and primarily bring high vibration coherence.
Your sound went muffled all of a sudden.
Oh, is this better?
Better, yes.
Good.
State the last sentence.
So it's important because the biophoton, when you have it in your space, it's constantly recharging your biofield, and the more light you have coming in, the higher your vibrational state goes. The higher your vibrational state goes, you attract things on a higher level. So
Right.
those are the things that are now coming into your biofield, aka your auric field, and it's going to change your complete state of mind, because it's changing your state, your current state,
Right.
into a higher state of coherence. And this is why people that are, the biggest things I've experienced was one of my best stories was a 22-year-old girl, athlete, lacrosse athlete, got the COVID virus. And right after that, she was left with depression. I think a lot of people suffered from that, and we know why. Know why, right? So it was so bad. Her dad took her to 8 different doctors. They gave her all these pills. Nothing worked. One day, she jumped off a 4-story building, almost died because she was suicidal.
Wow. She lived to tell about it, though. That's amazing.
Lived to tell about it. Her dad found out about me somehow, contacted me. I got on, I said, 4 o'clock, meet me on Zoom, put the photons up, did a 45-minute session. Within 20 minutes, she knocked out cold during the session.
Yeah.
This was at 4:30. She slept until the next day, almost 9:30. Her parents called me at 10:15, so happy, because she got up, jumped out of bed, and made them breakfast.
She just hadn't had enough sleep, but she wasn't in enough coherence, enough light coherence to actually go to sleep. And the biophoton healing stream, or the biophoton itself, allowed her to get to that level of relaxation.
Yes, but it took the dark cloud away, right?
Yeah, right. It took the dark cloud away, yes.
It took the dark cloud away because, again, when you're vibrating on that lower vibrational frequency, guess what happens? You have lower vibrational thoughts. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a low vibrational state, I want people to be aware, think about who do you think of? What are the situations you think of when you're in a low vibrational state? And when you're full of energy and you're in a state of joy and happiness, what and who do you think of then?
Usually when you're in low vibration, you only have one emotion, and it's usually a negative emotion, and it could be just solid anger, when you're in happy vibration, light vibration, you tend to have multiple emotions: happiness, joy, success, moving forward, perseverance, goodness, courage. All these positive emotions. There's when you think of the negative ones or the low vibration, there's actually very few compared to the positive side.
Right.
That's a
Right.
massive amount of emotions on the positive side, and
Yeah.
so definitely bringing in more light adds more coherence to life. It's like being in a dark room, uh, pitch black. You can't see anything. It's very confusing. As soon as you add light, then you start understanding life process, how to move forward, see what is happening in your life at a
Correct.
much faster rate than staying in the dark room. Like, yeah, I think it's fine. I don't I don't need light. It's like, yeah, but it's gonna be hard for you to move through this space without any light.
Correct, because you're stuck, and it goes back to your question. One of the biggest things, yes, there are physical. You are going to feel physical upregulation in your health because you're activating more of those biophotons down to the level of the DNA, and all of your biochemical processes are now triggering at optimal capacity. You're not at a deficit anymore. But the bigger part for me personally, and based on what hundreds and hundreds of people have told me, is that it changes your life because you're not in that spiral and that loop anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I was my some of my clients I was helping with concussion, getting through brain injury, and they said, "Cable, as soon as I got that biophoton in my life, for some reason I was able to sleep through the entire night." And it was like the level of coherence that I hadn't been able to pick up on and help them achieve, they achieved by increasing light in their life using this biophoton device, and biohealing stream allowed them to then start connecting things. I guess maybe it organized all their. I mean, the biophotons know
Yeah.
where how to move inside of us, but if we're covering, like you say, with all that pollution and all the different things in our field around us, that can add chaos and confusion to biophotons in general that we're emitting. It allows us to then start organizing that in a more positive way. Then we can step into higher levels of healing.
Oh, no question. No question. The other beautiful thing that I have seen, because we have a community, right, of all of these biophoton holders
Yep.
and users of the stream. And I mean, there's you have from professionals in there to healers to doctors to engineers to everyday people. They're all in there. But what's most fascinating for me is like the biophoton, it it takes on your personality, it takes on your style, because light listens. And in like when one of the most fascinating experiences I've ever had was when you held the biophotons for the first time, and
Yeah.
you were doing this thing, and it felt like a laser going through me because you applied your will, and the will drove the biophotons. You instructed it. You were the maestro. As the healer, you become the maestro of the energy to help direct it into the spaces where there's lack of light. And as you were doing this, I'm like, oh my God, that is insane. And you were tweaking it and doing these things, and I was literally feeling you drawing lines in my body,
Yeah.
and I could feel what was going on. And you were even using the smaller pair doing that.
Yeah. 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 I was just doing your the two that you own that are smaller, that allowed me to hold tiny biophotons in my hands, and then direct them around how I felt your body needed in order to upgrade your systems using the device that you invented in a way that you hadn't up to that point used it, but it was a very beneficial activity to do.
Oh, no question. And that's the beauty, right? Because there's no wrong way to use this. You cannot use this in the wrong way.
I,
It's how you apply it.
I was I was saying to my friend that sometimes my biophoton is pure glass, and I'm like throwing it around on concrete, and if it fell, it would like shatter. But I was like, you know, for some reason, the one I have, I it likes to move, so I move it. I try to be as um, um, provide it safety as much as possible. But I have found where maybe I'm working with someone and they have painful joints, they have some sort of arthritis that's happening, and it takes a long time, maybe a full month of me working with them to get them out of that state. But with one client I'm thinking about, it was 5 minutes. I was like throwing my biophoton around and I was like changing, and she's like, "Wow, Cable, I feel so much better. My joints aren't painful anymore." It's like, if I want to clear out, heal up a lot faster in 5 minutes instead of something taking me a month to do, that's when I bring in the biophoton to help me out with that situation.
100%, and that's the application of your talent driven by your will, and you're literally controlling the particles. And this is why when we're using the biophoton, it's important to use visualization, and it's important to use instruction, because you literally, I always say, people, think about, you have 1 million light particle soldiers behind you, and you are the general. You literally need, if you can instruct this exactly where to go and what to do, it's going to do it without fail anytime, because that's the law of light. That's how it works.
Yeah,
So it's really, really interesting because
it's like
it's been so many ways.
it's like play energy. Play energy tends to be really light, really high light, and so um, um, sometimes in some cases play has been thrown into the dark spaces, and you're like, wait, I want to take that play, move it into the light, and at highest levels of light, play with source energy allows maximum growth and abundance to step into people's lives in a way that they've never experienced before. And this is biophoton energy is maximum light in someone's life that allows maximum play. And people, even workaholics, like to play in their workaholic
Yeah,
space.
I could understand
When
that.
someone says, well, uh, uh, I would say if you have if you're wondering about it, I would say connect into play even more than you have up to this point. If you can't connect into that play energy, you're not fully connecting into your biophoton uh, space as well. So connect to the light in even a stronger way. And the biophoton is a way of connecting that light. It's like, I want to hold that everywhere I take. It's like, what's that stuff inside? It's like a 3 3D uh, inside space. Like, ooh, wow! And they're seeing like little arrows and other things as they get closer and closer. It's like, wow, there's like microscopic. I was wondering if there's words and sentences in there. I don't know. There's more than what you can see from a distance. You get up close, and it is very detailed. That 3D signature you put inside, it's definitely a lot of forethought has gone into this.
Years,
Years.
years of that, and it's, the beautiful part about it. It's, which we're going to get into shortly. We're going to keep some of these golden nuggets,
Okay.
because it's important for people to understand what looks very simple is actually probably one of the most advanced technologies in the world, and the purest form of energy in the world. And we're going to talk about how that's going to help you and how you can apply this to your life.
The next segment we'll talk about it. Sounds good.
Yes.
Everything we're made of contains light. From the sun that feeds our world to the energy that flows within us. With LifeWave X39, we've found a way to put that light to work. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHK-Cu, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality. By gently stimulating the skin with light, our non-invasive, non-transdermal X39 patches help you conquer your active lifestyle and pave a new way to vibrant health. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. It all starts with your body and a little help from light. Place one LifeWave X39 patch on the body. Apply the patch to clean, dry skin in the morning. Patches may be worn for up to 12 hours before discarding. Keep well hydrated while using this product. Harness your natural potential. Reclaim youthful energy. Live long, live well, live young with LifeWave X39. Be the light. LifeWave.
We're back, Gary. We've been diving deep into some of these subjects. We have a lot more to talk about. Biophoton and biohealing stream, and how these technologies can heal the body, can help the body change at a much faster rate than if they weren't used. And even in life, we tend to wear colors. There's in life space. I didn't put it up, but I had a background that has there's a lot of color attached to it, and often color is the emotion side of light that allows that light to enter into our subconscious and our programming space at a much faster rate than if we kind of dwell in a grab situation that's like no light. Often as you find more different types of colors in your life, you get more and more light streaming into our lives. But sometimes people stay in that storm. The rainbow only shows up after the storm passes by. And this day and age, there's so many storms that are like people walking around in their own little storm all day long. It's like, when are you going to step out and see the rainbow? When are you going to have the rain stop and be able to see? Rainbows are interesting because you only see rainbows from your own perspective. Someone 20 feet away may not see the rainbow at all because it's from a certain angle that the rainbow decides to show up. And even in this, we're talking about biophoton as life energy, and creating a device that brings the biophoton to life size that we can see. Wow, this example of biophoton, and it has all this amazing technology put into it. Tell us more. And I don't know. You said you were going to hold back some of the treasures related to this biophoton. Share as much as you can.
Absolutely. So think about your Wi-Fi router. Okay, your Wi-Fi router plugs into the wall and it has two antennas, and you have all of the information you can access on your screen from when you go to the internet. That router is accessing the cloud of information. What this technology is doing is also acting like the router, and it's accessing that cloud of information solar intelligence and bringing it into the device and emitting it either into you if you're holding it or into your space. And because you're so close to the source, in the same way if you had your cell phone up to your ear, you're going to get, no matter what device you have on to block EMFs, it's going to go into the ear because you're that close to the source. So if you're standing right in front of the microwave, which we know not to do that,
Yeah.
blasted by that radiation. The truth is, we're living in the microwave. We're living in the microwave.
Yeah, yeah. We need to increase the level of of signals that are beneficial for us and
Yes,
decrease the levels of signals that are not beneficial for us.
that's correct. So this technology, because it's harnessing constantly from the source and it's not corrupting the particle, it's a perfect technology because it's not plugging into a source. What do I mean by that? It's not plugging into electricity.
Right.
Electricity has a dirty harmonic. It's dirty, it's not pure. Okay? And because you're harnessing that source and you're so close to the source, now you're getting that source energy, which is not a frequency. It's a particle of light which contains information that, like you said, it's the information that is home to the cell, home to the DNA. So it's really powerful because now you have 94 quadrillion biochemical processes running, that 93 trillion strands of DNA that are supposed to be powering those processes. But again, remember, if you're running at a biological deficit, your whole body is running at a deficit. And that's why, look, we have access more than ever at any given time in history to every peptide, to every stem cell, to every nutraceutical, to every plug-in frequency device, but it's missing the intelligence of the signaling layer down to the atomic structure. That's the missing layer. So what Cable and I are saying here today is this is the foundational missing piece to every physical, whether it's an animal, a plant, or a person. This is the missing layer because everything else goes upstream from here. And I think we've been talking a lot about the how it works and the science, but Cable, you as a healer, you've been using this. I'm seeing this with thousands of people, and I gotta tell you, when I can erase depression within one session, when I can see someone's pain significantly decrease, when someone who is on tremendous amounts of anxiety medication or insomnia medication starts to use the stream or they have the photon and it creates that space of coherence in their biofield and around their space and they're sleeping. I mean, I've never seen anything work as fast as this.
Yeah, it's an incredible invention, and we've had so many amazing inventions. There's new inventions coming online all the time, and so why not connect in a big way? In it's like, I don't know about this, but I mean, maybe you don't know about your own biophotons. The light inside of you is like the people who tend to not well connect with themselves
Yes.
probably don't really well connect with any devices that are like, this brings in light, this
Sure.
brings happiness, this brings in success. Let's connect with this in a big way. Even thinking, sometimes the new thought that you need to have in order to get to where you need to go, that is a new level of light needed in your life to have that new thought. And we can often, like, how can we use this technology to move forward in a massive way and increase of light? You were saying, well, it doesn't have a frequency. It's like the the advanced level stem cell that can become any cell it wants.
Right.
A
Right.
biophoton can transfer any type of information to whatever is needed in that space to make that person or that room or that the entire world. The sun is transferring information, and we're like, well, that sunlight is a frequency, but it grows all sorts of things. It communicates with everything it touches. This is the same sort of technology. It's whatever this technology is influences. Even the people who are like, no, I don't want to be influenced by this technology, is like, you'll still be influenced by it. It's like sunlight influences everyone that can tell that the sun is shining. It's influencing all the plants. Every plant sees the sun, understands. Even if the plant lives in a cave in the dark, still knows about the sun.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sun's known about in the middle of the earth. The planets, the universe, all know about the sun. Yeah, every galaxy, all the other galaxies that have stars, they also know about the sun. All the stars know about all the other stars. It's law of, what's the phrase? The sum's part of the whole's part of the sum.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The Earth is part of the universe. The
Yeah.
universe is part of us.
It's like the Dr. Seuss, the speck
Yeah.
of the speck of the speck, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
inside of us, we have biophotons that are emitting, but on the outside of us, if we're part of the Earth, the Earth's part of us. If photons are on the inside of us, it's also photons are on the outside of us.
Yes.
Connecting to those photons and having a major example. Hey, this is an invention we're calling it the biophoton. Oh, this is a light source inside of me. If you can connect to it, but with all this chaotic thought processes and a lot of darkness that has been perpetuated through the years, a lot of people are missing this ability to connect into light in a way that they. So this is a good, amazing first start. Like, you want to connect? Hold this. This is a different feeling from anything else I've held, because those people tend to hold the wrong things in life. So hold this. Hold this.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a different feeling that I've never ever felt before.
Yeah.
It is smooth, and it has a 3D signature in there. Whatever that could be, 4D, 5D, 6D. It could be any dimension you like to put that signature to, and it just expands the level of thought process, expands the level of emotions, expands the level of positivity, adds coherence in a way that there's no other technology that I know of currently on Earth that allows that type of coherence to take place.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I've noticed in general in my research as well is the ability for this technology and the biophotons. It's highly protective of of your auric fields, highly protective of your personal space, of anything that are of a lower vibrational frequency. And we're living in a day and age right now, as before the pandemic era, we knew when flu season was coming around, right? We
Yeah,
know there's
yeah,
a certain month the flu season comes around. Guys, flu season is 365 24/7 right now. Okay, and I want to use this as an everyday real life example. And let's talk about the biofield or the auric field really quickly. So if you consider the auric field, the biofield, your house, and then you have the door to the house. That door is the immune system. Okay? But the fence around your house, it's the auric field, it's the biofield. So I'm gonna get a little bit controversial here because in medicine they tell us, well, your first line of defense is your immune system. Well, it's partially right. Your first line of defense is your biofield. And the biofield is only as strong as the amount of light that is contained in the biofield. And if that is compromised, then you have all this information through the EMFs the airborne pathogens. It's now penetrating the biofield. The bits of information is now getting stuck in a layer 5 feet above you called the information ether, which is creating mind chatter, which is overwhelming the nervous system, which is creating anxiety, which is now lowering your immune system. And now people can see the domino effect with this. So this is why it's so important to connect yourself to pure light high vibrations, to always keep your biofield in a maximum state of coherence, so your outer layer, the first layer of you, can be protective. And this is why 10 people who has a lot of light in their auric field or biofield versus 10 people who doesn't, I guarantee you the 10 people who doesn't will get sick any day before the 10 people who are rich in the light source.
Yes, I
I
agree.
want to start this because I think it's very important for people in this day and age, because we're all paranoid about parasites and viruses and who's sneezing rum and who's not. But the key is to raise your light intake into the auric field, into the biofield, and that's the most strongest form of protection against other people's energies and low vibrational
I
frequencies.
was talking about light as I was recognizing if biophoton energy tends to move down the myelin sheath inside people's bodies, that would be insulation, but also on the outside, could insulate us from infection and
Correct.
sickness, all these different things. All the we need some insulation from all the onslaught of everything around us. So,
Correct.
increasing biophoton light allows a new level of nurture in our life that we haven't really paid attention to. It's when you're in a safe, really high safe space. That's high nurture energy. It's like a hug from the biophoton light, increasing that in our life. Now, I wanted to how we've been talking through all this stuff. How do people? I mean, you've got two websites. Um,
Yes, we have two components, and I'll make this very simple. For people who are wanting the actual physical device, because there's two components. You can go to eluumis.com, Eluumis.com, and for people, we can now stream this energy through the internet, through your smart device. No apps to download. You go to the website, sends you an access link to your email, and that's the biohealingstream.com. So even if someone wanted to experience this, which I invite everyone to, experience this, use it. You get two 30-minute sessions per day. So you can really feel what this feels like. And I encourage you to do that, try it. And then you'll know if you want to jump into the physical device. The difference is it's not one is stronger than the other. It's that you have this in your space around you all the time, emitting and working, versus streaming for 30 minutes twice a day, which is good for personal use or for your family. But having this in the space or both, it's where it's at. So you can be anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a good internet connection and you can access your email. You can get this bio.
and you also provide on the top of the biophoton stream. You also provide meditations, which
Yes,
is which is
we call it protocols.
phenomenal insight
Correct. Yes.
insight into the human body and how the human body is able to change, which
Yes.
which for someone who's uh, audible, they want to learn, but they also want to change their light. Having an audio plus biostreaming field at the same time, it's really connecting to a new level of human here on Earth. There's a lot more people who need the the audio as well as the visual in order for them to start connecting sunlight to me as light. I need change to move forward, and the sun allows movement forward or growth. And a lot of us find ourselves in a stagnant space. I'm not moving as quickly as I'd like. It's like you just need more light. And so if you find yourself, I'm in the city. I can't connect to the sun. I can't even see the sun. Well, there's a way that connecting with sun is bringing in a larger biophoton in your space. It's like, okay, physically or streaming it over online, you can actually see and like, wow, this does affect me similarly as if I were sitting in the sunlight. If I could get the sun, it was
Awesome. Yeah,
beneficial.
agreed. So, with that, I want to invite people to just have an open mind and try it for yourself and see what you feel.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity to be here. This has been wonderful to share this podcast with you, gentlemen.
Okay, so if today's episode spoke to you, don't just watch, take action. Book your free consult with one of our expert coaches at chronichealthcollective.com for personalized support. Subscribe to our monthly new magazine for powerful tips from all 10 coaches to elevate your health, mindset, and relationships. Join us live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, or catch our Central CDT or CST, or catch past episodes anytime on 360 TV or youtube.com at Chronic Health Collective. Thanks for tuning in. Your transformation starts with one bold step. See you next week.